Sword Coast Legends is an epic single and multiplayer role-playing game set in Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms. In the extensive story campaign, you awaken from a horrific nightmare to find your guild, the Order of the Burning Dawn, all but destroyed. Pursued by assassins, you must escape north along the Sword Coast in search of the truth. Begin by creating your own character, choosing from 5 distinct races and 6 iconic classes. With multiple customization options within each class, you can create the perfect character to fit your desired playstyle. Along the way, you may choose to ally with powerful companions, such as Jarhild Stoneforge, a fearless fighter who is tough as steel. Illidia Maethelin, a powerful healer with a tortured past. Laretha Gulgrim, a rogue with a wit as sharp as his blades. Or Homit Shaw, the necromancer with a heart of gold. After creating your character, you can embark on your journey. You can invite up to 3 friends to join the story as a co-op adventure, with each player using their own customized character. Although you can customize your character with treasures and loot, you will have to rely on your party to survive the dangers of the Sword Coast. Combat is in real time, but you can pause to queue up attacks and spells if you desire a tactical edge. In the new Dungeon Master mode, one player takes on the role of the Dungeon Master, able to control aspects of the game in a randomly generated dungeon or a custom campaign of their own creation. 4 adventurers may test their mettle against the DM, and both sides are rewarded for skillful play. During boss encounters, Dungeon Masters can even take direct control of the enemy, adding an extra layer of challenge. So come now, adventurer. Ready your armor, gather your weapons, and journey to the Sword Coast.
We did it. We're live.
Woo!
Mission accomplished.
Welcome.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is awesome. It is the 11th, and there's a bunch of people here on a busy work day. So thank you guys for taking the time to come and hang out with us on our little Twitch stream here.
Our little corner of the internet.
Yeah. So we have a lot of news. Today's mainly a news-filled episode of our Twitch stream. We announced so many things last week.
Big week.
We'll go over all the things that we announced, and we'll go over some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about at E3. First thing I always do is I plug our social media channels. You can actually see them up there on the screen now. So if you go to our Twitter account, that's at SwordCoast. If you go to our Facebook account, that's /SwordCoast. If you go to, subscribe here, Sword Coast Legends on Twitch TV, and you can find us everywhere. We do our best to reply to you guys every single time you send us a message, or if they send us a question we can actually answer without getting
trick,
zapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we'll answer the question. But please keep those coming. Also, you can go to our forums and talk to us there, which is always interesting. There's always a lot of fun going on in the forums. So go to swordcoast.com and sign up for the forums, and we'll see you there too.
Well, the forums always allows for kind of the best the highest quality dialogue.
Right. So there's other fans from all over the world talking about the game and asking questions, and hopefully we get in there and the devs get in there and answer them. So we do our best to do that.
Yep.
We have a special guest today, and that's you, sir.
Oh.
That's Mr. Dan O'Leary.
Oh,
and
dear.
As you can see here by the little awesome graphic we have, Dan is the CEO of Nspace. I've interviewed many people over the years, and I honestly was thinking about it today. I don't think I've ever interviewed a CEO.
There's really nothing to it. Clearly,
really
what you see is what you get here.
So I do want to talk to you just for a couple minutes, and for our viewers here, about the studio itself, because a lot of people, even though Nspace has been around for 20 years, there are a lot of people that may not know about it. So
right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the creation of Nspace, and then perhaps
Sure.
how you guys have, kind of you've transformed the studio in recent years.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
yeah.
So InSpace was founded by myself and two partners, just over 20 years ago in November of 1994. We initially had funding from Sony Computer Entertainment of America to work on some PlayStation titles. We'd come out of work with Sega and as a part of a defense industry project with Lockheed Martin. And we wanted to do 3D games. We knew about them. It was kind of a quiet market. There wasn't a lot of expertise, and so we took the opportunity to start working on some PlayStation 1 titles. We've released over 45 titles since in 20-some years, and it's been quite a ride.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So, you guys have recently, or we.
Yes, we.
I work here.
The royal you guys.
I forget that I work here sometimes. I've worked with a number of different publishers in the past.
Sure.
Can you tell us about what some of those publishers, who some of those publishers might have been?
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
The ones that still are relevant would include EA and Activision, and lots of others, including we're one of the only independent developers that I'm aware of that's had that's done work for all three of the platform manufacturers. So Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. We've worked directly with all three, had first-party relationships with all three. Yeah. And then, of course, there's a lot of publishers that we've outlasted, including, Ataris and THQs and
20 years in the video game business is a really long time.
It is. You can tell. It's a little gray.
I'm actually, this is totally off topic, but I'm actually very jealous of your beard. I keep trying. I try for like 3 weeks, then my wife's like, "What are you doing?" It's just like this. There's like a big spot missing over here, and
my wife is she's very understanding and supportive, and I'm just lazy enough to get it done.
That's big. So you mentioned when you were just talking about being an independent developer, what's changed from being a work-for-hire studio to being an independent developer? What does that mean, and how did we go about doing it?
How do you go about doing it? It's a tricky one. What it means is that when InSpace started, we built the business model around a work for hire. So we would go to publishers or they would come to us with opportunities, and we would sign contracts to do a project, and it was all per project based. And in the end, they would own the product of our work. So, and InSpace kind of ended up specializing in a roundabout way on licensed IP. So we do a Call of Duty game for the handheld for Activision. Actually, we did 5 of them, but each one of those is obviously Activision's property, and we partner directly with them. But in the end of it, you're still looking for another opportunity, and we had great partnerships along the way, but there was never this there was never a guarantee of additional work. So you're always hustling to find the next project to keep everybody gainfully employed and happy and busy and all those good things. So
20 years is a long time. So
that's a lot of times going out. And in the beginning, there was such an appetite for development, for work-for-hire development skills, that we would do 4 or 5 meetings in a project. We'd be negotiating a project. Now, recently, take 12, 20, 25 meetings and then a year of contract work to get to actually get paid and start working on something. So it became a very challenging business market. Never really let us do stuff for ourselves. We always, the team here has been very, very good over the years at kind of grabbing hold of whatever they've gotten and putting their hearts and minds into it. But this is Sword Coast Legends, the first time we've really been able to work on something that is ours. It's for us.
It's exciting. So let's talk, everyone's here, we have a bunch of people watching, so let's talk for a little bit about Sword Coast Legends. So in this stream, we're going to be talking about all of the announcements that we made this week, so we'll go into a little bit more detail about those.
Sure.
We'll let the viewers know about that. And then we're also going to tease a little bit of what we're going to be doing at E3. And it's been a crazy couple weeks here at NSpace, getting ready for E3, but exciting and crazy in a good way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think the demo, and I'll get more into it in a few minutes, but the demo that we're showing off, I think, is going to make a lot of people really happy.
Yep.
And it is incredibly cool. I sat in for a while yesterday watching them prep it, and it's really exciting stuff. So
watch the sausage get made.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk. For the first big thing that we announced this week was our release date. So we're releasing on September the 8th.
September the 8th.
Yeah, for
2015.
This year.
Yes. How about that?
Yeah,
that'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to come out on PC, Mac, and Linux on September the 8th, and it's exciting. So what can you tell us about the idea to come out on PC, Mac, and Linux all at the same time?
So Sword Course Legends has always been a PC first project. It wasn't. We always wanted to make a game for desktop players, and the more we looked at it, and the more we heard from people that wanted to see it on Mac and Linux, it was something that we wanted to do. We want it to be an equal opportunity kind of product where everyone that plays on a computer, whatever the operating system, can join in the fun and jump in with their friends and play a game of Sword Coast Legends. So not only is it available on those 3 platforms, it's very much kind of unified. There's a unified code, so you buy one code on the Steam store, and you can redeem it for whichever platform. So if you've already bought a 5-pack, then you can give one of those codes to your buddy who plays on the Linux, one of those to your buddy who plays on the Mac, and the other 3 you can keep to. I added it up, right?
Yeah,
5.
I think that's 5.
So the other 3
Didn't hire me for the math,
can go to your PC running friends, and then you can all play together. So
that's awesome.
It's fully cross-platform, no barriers to play, no market segmentation. You don't have to worry about I want to play, but my buddies are on the PC or vice versa.
Right.
And that's really what we want to do. This is a game that we want to bring gamers together, RPG fans together, and because that's what D&D has always done, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's only natural.
I think that's great. And I should really point out that I don't want to say that the game coming to Mac and Linux is entirely because of the community, but one of the earliest things, the trends that I saw watching all the social channels, when I said, early on, what do you want to see? We got so many requests for Linux and so many requests for Mac. And I brought that to you guys because you guys pay very close attention to the community channels as well. And I brought that to you guys and said, there's a lot of people that really want this on Mac. A lot of hardcore D&D fans that want to play this on Mac. And,
absolutely.
And same with Linux. And it turned out we were pretty lucky that we were able to pull it off and make them all come out at the same time.
There's no luck. It was all hard work.
All skill.
Absolute all skill. Hard work. And really it was just about making it a priority, right? Making it a priority and say, hey, can we do this? Yes. Should we do it? Yes. We want to do it, so let's make it happen, right? Yeah. So, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I have a Mac sitting on my desk.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people that are hardcore gamers that have, Macs, and I think
it's a struggle.
It's a struggle. Let's talk about what some people would consider to be an elephant in the room, but some people would be very excited about, and that is the fact that the game is going to be coming to consoles too.
Yes.
So let's just open up and talk about it, because you're the boss, and we can talk about you about this stuff.
Right.
But, so why bring Sword Coast Legends to consoles at all? What was the idea behind that?
Well, it's the same reason, right? Same thinking, that we want people to be able to play this game on their favorite platform, and there was a huge uproar for support. We got more people requesting console support than any naysayers. So, and again, it's something we looked at. We've been PC first for a long time. We've only had a couple of console dev systems in the office until just a couple of months ago, and they were all in one guy's office.
Yeah.
So we're obviously we weren't putting a huge amount of effort into it until recently, because this is a game for PCs.
Yeah.
And but as we looked at it, and we looked at the release kind of timelines and the vocal support of the idea, and again the technology that we have access to and our experience with those platforms, it made sense to go ahead and expand to cover that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's like I said earlier when we were talking about Mac and Linux. I know a lot of people that play games hundreds of hours, a month, and sometimes even a week, that just don't have access to a solid PC, or prefer playing on console, prefer sitting on the couch next to the people they love and playing the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't tell you how many people asked if we were going to support couch play.
Couch co-op.
So
big request for that.
Everybody plays games in their own way, and we want to be able to cater to those in the best we can.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely. So would you say that in what ways has Sword Coast been altered to accommodate console play, or has it been altered at all to accommodate play on consoles?
Well, from a feature point of view, it's very very much parity with between the PC. I'll call it PC, but I'm including Mac and Linux when I talk about that. Between the desktop and the console world. Obviously, the console platforms have certain requirements to support that we have to support for the manufacturer's requirements. But I mean, the biggest thing, obviously, that's the controller support. We've got to be able to support the controller, and with that comes some tuning, because the direct input that you have with a PC, with a keyboard and mouse, it's not as direct with a controller. So we got to build some things a little bit differently. We've got to restructure some UI elements a little bit, and we've got to account for the pace of the gameplay with the controller in the balancing and that sort of thing. So there's a lot that goes into it.
I mean, I think it should be stressed though that the game is being designed from the ground up, being for mouse and keyboard use.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not the kind of game where to get the optimal, the best experience on the PC, you have to plug in a console controller. That's not how we roll.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and it's funny. I pay very close attention to all the social media channels, as a lot of the people in the stream know. I'm on there all the time.
Right.
And there have been some people that have been criticizing one thing or another, saying that gameplay is action-packed, it's fast. What we were trying to really show off in those trailers was, a little bit of flash, a little bit of speed, right?
Right.
Whereas if you actually tried to run through the game and button mash, you would die so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, strategy is imperative.
It is
in
very
Sword Coast
important.
Legend.
Whether you're playing as a single-player party where you've got to manage all of your companions, or you're playing, in a group, then you have to work together as a group. It definitely is not something to be, it's not a dive into combat and click the button kind of game.
No,
so
not at all.
Definitely rewarding. There's it's a skill-based game. You have to learn the do's and don'ts. You have to learn the tools at your disposal, and you have to use them well.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the first couple times I played, a lot of the folks in the office that were better at the game than I was at that point.
Like everyone?
Yeah, like everyone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty bad. But when I first started playing, I use pause and play constantly, because I'm a really tactical gamer. In my background, I play RPGs constantly, and I was also a DM for a really long time.
Right.
But I'm constantly, when I'm playing Sword Coast Legends, pausing and really thinking about each one of my moves and each one of my attacks, and setting up cool combos and stuff like that.
Right.
So for those of you, I know, I talk a lot on the social channels, but for those of you that are worried about it being something that you don't want, if you like tactical experiences, you're very much going to get it with Sword Coast Legends.
Right.
It's incredibly tactical. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Technical difficulty. We're still alive. All right. Cool.
Hey.
The computer went to sleep.
I want to take a nap.
I know. So the big thing that we want to talk to you guys about is E3. The E3 hype train is here.
It's steaming into the station right now.
And it's
Whoop, whoop.
it's pretty awesome to see everything come together, to see the demo come together. What do you think is the big thing that players are going to really freak out about when they see our E3 footage?
Well, the E3 demo this time focuses almost entirely on campaign creation.
Yes.
So the DM's tool set for putting together campaigns and rolling them out to the players, and then playing them with the players.
Yeah.
So you'll see all of the details that people have been haranguing us about since GDC, if not before, will be rolled out. Almost everything. We got to save some things back. But there's a huge, robust tool set all built into the game that people will be able to use to create, well, a lot.
A lot of stuff,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I've been sneaking in and watching them prep, because I'll be there along with, we have game director Dan Tudge is going to E3.
Yep.
We have Tim Schwach going to E3.
Yep.
Jay Turner, game designer.
Yep.
Jay Turner, narrative director, going
Yep.
to E3. Yourself, CEO. I'm going to be there running around, tweeting and stuff.
Tweeting
and stuff, doing my thing. But it has been really a treat to watch them go through this, and I guess I can kind of tease some of the things that they're going to be showing off. So you will see campaign creation.
Yes.
Okay, so you will get to see the DM tools in action.
Correct.
The press are actually going to get to watch, a campaign get created.
Yep.
Or aspects of a campaign get created.
Yep.
You're going to get to see NPC generation. You're going to get to see
monster customization. Object placement, room setup, quest manufacturing.
Yeah, all sorts of things
all of
that
this,
we haven't shown off yet.
Yeah.
And the good news for those of you guys in our Twitch channel is when they get back from E3, we're going to show it to you too.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys have been clamoring for this for a really long time, and we wanted to make sure everything was perfect before we showed it off. So we'll show it to press first at E3,
yep.
and then we'll come back and we'll show it to you guys. And also, starting when we come back, we're going to be really a lot more open with showing off gameplay.
Yep.
And so we'll be doing frequent Twitch streams. We'll actually be playing the game. We'll have full groups going through different custom campaigns and adventures and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty impressive and pretty awesome.
Yeah, as Tudge likes to say, we're pretty much opening the kimono the rest of the way here at this show.
Yes.
And so there's not a whole lot left to hide, and so there'll be plenty that we can kind of dive into more deeply after E3. And there's a tremendous amount to show. I mean, the format of the show, we have 30-minute blocks, and there'll be up to 4 media personnel in each block. And those go literally like 9 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have 122 different press outlets or press engagements in that time. So all of these plans post E3 presume that we actually survive the event and make it back.
That's a pretty intense schedule, right?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Yeah. And but in that 30 minutes, we're able to do all the things you talked about. So only about 10 minutes is showing the campaign tools. So just by the fact that it takes 10 minutes to do the kind of stuff, the laundry list of things that you talked about, you can tell how easy and accessible they are. We don't want to show people things that aren't quick and easy and simple. We don't want to have people that have to dive any deeper than that. So I can't really. I'm getting a little off message because
no, you're fine.
I have to be careful.
The more we share with them, the more they like us. So
yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting, and as Dan said, we have a lot of press outlets showing up, which means there's likely going to be a good deal of coverage of SCL.
There sure better be.
Yeah, so for all you guys at the channel that are eager for more, you'll be getting a lot of press coverage right around the time of E3. And like I just said, when we come back, we're going to be in your face quite a lot, and hopefully you guys show up and hang out with us and chat with us. And we are always listening.
Tony, are you able to show the last screen in that set?
I don't know. I think it rotates. So.
Yeah. Well, one of the screens that we released earlier this week is kind of a sneak peek at the DM campaign creation tool set, and so it's worth going back to our press releases and seeing what we're talking about. You have to kind of imagine, but there's a lot to be learned from that one screen. I posted it up on the forums.
Yeah, so definitely go to the Sword Coast forums and check out the screenshot, and you can check it out. It's actually available on Facebook as well. We have the screens up there to check out. So any place you want to see it, and actually they're up on swordcoast.com.
They're everywhere.
We put the screens everywhere for you guys.
Just look for the one that says Dungeon Master at the bottom.
That's right. It's pretty exciting stuff. The thing I did want to say before we get out of here is we've been doing this thing called Sword Coast Legends Design Council, and Design Council's really pretty exciting. What they get to do is chime in with various aspects or suggestions for the game. We'll poll them on maybe a weapon they want to create or something that they want to do, and and they make it happen. So for instance, the first thing they did was choose the pose for the Bellefoss statue.
Yep.
And pose 3 ended up winning. I can say now, I've been trying to get like the exact dimensions of the statue, and I haven't been able to get them yet, but I know that the Bellefoss statue is right around 12 inches.
Yep.
And I don't know the weight, but it's a hefty sucker. So that's the first thing the Design Council did. The next thing that they did was actually, from the ground up, they created a weapon that's going to be placed into Sword Coast Legends. And so they started off with voting what kind of weapon they wanted to make. Was it going to be a staff? Was it going to be a sword?
Right.
Was it going to be an axe or what have you? They ended up choosing a sword.
Of course.
Of course, why not? And they ended up choosing they wanted the sword to have psychic properties. And then the community came together and they actually created the name of the sword and they created the lore behind the sword. Then we took all that information and we voted on it internally. We sent it off to Wizards of the Coast. We said, Wizards of the Coast, which of these, out of all these is lore,
Right.
fits in the world of Dungeons and Dragons and doesn't break any rules.
Right.
They said all of these fit into those categories, and then the Design Council voted on the final sword. The winner was Vlaakith, the Slayer of Minds. And what's happening now is we have our concept artist actually working on different concepts for Vlaakith, the Slayer of Minds, and he's going to art it up.
Sweet.
And then we're going to bring it to the designers, and they're actually implement it and put it in the game. And we're doing that with a bunch of different weapons, and we'll be doing that all the way through release, actually, post-release. So if you remember the Design Council, it's like a for-life thing.
Right.
So, and I think it's pretty cool. As somebody who plays a ton of games, it's something that I love to be a part of, actually getting to influence them. So that's pretty neat. So definitely check out Design Council stuff. You can just go, there's a couple different posts on the news section of swordcoast.com. So go there and check that out.
All right, and they're making an armor set now, is that right?
Yeah, they're working on, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, they're working on an armor set that I think heavy armor won the vote. So now they're going to be choosing, of course, heavy armor and a sword, right? They'll be choosing properties and name and all that fun stuff. And then they'll have that plugged into Sword Coast
We can
Legends.
make 80,000 different kinds of armor and weapons, and we're going to make a sword and heavy armor.
Yes.
Good job, guys.
Sword and heavy armor.
We're just getting started here. Whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Other big news, the game is available for pre-order right now.
Pre-order, yes.
I wrote that down to say that because I forgot.
It's
but
important.
It
yes.
is important. Yeah, so you can actually pre-order the game now on Steam.
On Steam.
Yeah.
And PlayStation.
PlayStation, that's right. Yeah, it's
Yes.
available on PlayStation. I forgot they just took that up. That's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So that's exciting. So definitely go and pre-order the game. As per usual, we're gonna kind of wrap things up here. I'm going to stick around after we're done and talk to you guys in chat for a bit. So if you want to hang out and talk to me, I'll answer whatever questions I can.
Sure.
And whatever questions I'm legally allowed to answer, I'll answer. And then if you guys, tune into our social channels, they're all up there on the top. I'm not going to say them again. I'll be manning those while I'm at E3, and I'll be tweeting out new information and sending out new information as it kind of arises. I'll also do some behind the scenes, pictures and fun stuff like that, and chatting with people. So definitely keep your eyes, keep your eyes on the social channels. And
Yeah, we'll definitely all work to try and make sure that the Sword Coast Legends community gets to kind of vicariously to participate in E3 through
we'll
us.
do lots of fun stuff and make it as interesting as possible.
So we're going to roll the movie again?
We're gonna roll the
trailer?
movie. Yeah. So we'll be back after E3, guys, with because obviously we'll take a break for next week, and then we'll be back, and we'll be showing off hopefully some campaign creation stuff.
There is a Twitch feature with Dan sometime during the week, so we'll have to.
There is. I'll let you
We'll have
guys
to
know.
mention something
We might
about
be
that.
on Twitch TV showing some stuff off next week, next Thursday, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I know the specific details.
That's
so
correct.
again, a lot of you guys showed up today. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll be back really soon with all new stuff. See you later.
Bye-bye. Thanks for showing.
Find your guild, the Order of the Burning Dawn, all but destroyed. Pursued by assassins, you must escape north along the Sword Coast in search of the truth. Begin by creating your own character, choosing from 5 distinct races and 6 iconic classes. With multiple customization options within each class, you can create the perfect character to fit your desired playstyle. Along the way, you may choose to ally with powerful companions, such as Jarhild Stoneforge, a fearless fighter who is tough as steel. Elydia Maethelin, a powerful healer with a tortured past. Laretha Gulgrim, a rogue with a wit as sharp as his blades. Or Homit Shaw, the necromancer with a heart of gold. After creating your character, you can embark on your journey. You can invite up to 3 friends to join the story as a co-op adventure, with each player using their own customized character. Although you can customize your character with treasures and loot, you will have to rely on your party to survive the dangers of the Sword Coast. Combat is in real time, but you can pause to queue up attacks and spells if you desire a tactical edge. In the new Dungeon Master mode, one player takes on the role of the Dungeon Master, able to control aspects of the game in a randomly generated dungeon or a custom campaign of their own creation. 4 adventurers may test their mettle against the DM, and both sides are rewarded for skillful play. During boss encounters, Dungeon Masters can even take direct control of the enemy, adding an extra layer of challenge. So come now, adventurer. Ready your armor, gather your weapons, and journey to the Sword Coast.